G'day YouTube, Max Wright here, and today we are chatting to Crypto Rich. G'day, Crypto.
Hey, Max, thank you so much for having me on your channel.
Oh, you're very, very welcome. Thanks for being here. Now, one of the reasons I wanted you on here is to talk a little bit about Piratechain. Now, a lot of my subscribers are very, very interested in Piratechain, and with good reason, obviously. It's absolutely gone ballistic the last month. Just looking at the chart here, like from a month ago, 30 cents up to $16. Right now, we've come back down to 8. So it's obviously captured a few people's imagination the last 30 days. But why don't you give me a little bit of the background about Piratechain and where it's trying to fit into the ecosystem?
Sure. And just let people know, I run a YouTube channel on lots of different cryptocurrencies and stuff since April 2017. And I'm a member of the crew at Piratechain. I'm a first mate. Piratechain launched in, I think, August 2018, and I've been covering it since September 2018. It is a fork of Komodo, which is a fork of Zcash, which is a fork of Bitcoin. And what happened, how Piratechain came to be, is some of the Komodo devs were tinkering around. You know, imagine like people tinker around under the hood of a car, lying on their backs, right? So they were tinkering around with the code of Komodo and Zcash or whatever, asking the question, is it possible for every single transaction, peer-to-peer transaction, to be protected, made invisible by ZK snarks? So every single peer-to-peer transaction, because Zcash has optional privacy. You have transparent transactions and you have Z transactions, which are invisible. Same with Dash, it has optional privacy. Veriscoin, which a lot of people won't know about, has optional privacy and ZK snark transactions. So they're like, well, what if we could have privacy by default? Because when you have optional privacy, you don't really have privacy, because it's possible over time to work out what is in which wallet, where it goes, when it goes. So for example, if you've got, let's say on Zcash, there are 10 transactions every hour, but only 2 of them are private. So every hour, there's another 10 transactions, but only 2 of them are private. Over time, through data analytics, you can work out where the money's going. Right. So it's not really private.
Gotcha.
So that's how Piratechain was born. They were tinkering about. It's a fully open source project. No fundraise, no ICO, no pre-mine, no dev fund, no team fund. They released the code. People started mining it, Equihash algorithm. And the team of people behind it, the crew, they're also fully decentralized. Nobody gets paid. It's a volunteer, decentralized, community-based project. And
Gotcha.
I believe that it's not possible to have freedom without privacy. There is no freedom without privacy. You have to have privacy. That I have to be able to withdraw myself from the public space. Otherwise, I'm forever surveilled. I'm in a panopticon. We're not free.
Understood.
So that's the ethos and how it was born. Now, there are some transparent transactions because it's a proof of work coin. It goes from the mining rig to the first wallet. You can see that transaction. And that's to make sure that the miners aren't cheating by printing extra Piratechain. And the ticker symbol, by the way, is R, ARRR. And then once it goes into the wallet, well, you can't see what's inside the wallet. You don't know what's gone in, if anything. You don't know what's gone out. So I could send it to you, Max, and nobody would know apart from you and I. Just like if I were to meet you in person and to give you cash, nobody would know. It'd be between you and I. We'd have complete financial privacy. So that's the deal with Piratechain. And Piratechain is, in my opinion, the most private and secure of all the cryptocurrencies going. More private and secure than Monero, more private and secure than any of the Mimblewimble coins. So with Piratechain, there's no data on the blockchain to analyze. Gotcha. I did this thing about a year or so ago. I offered people some R coins. I said, if you can tell me, here's the transaction ID. If you can tell me which wallet it went from, which wallet it went to, and how much went, I will give you what's in the wallet. Nobody got it. You cannot work it out. So there's no data on the blockchain. Now it's the same deal with the Mimblewimble coins, Grin and Bean. There's no data on the blockchain. However, they're not secure. They're not protected against 51% attacks. Pirate Chain is. So every 10 minutes, the transactions on Pirate Chain are hashed onto the Komodo blockchain. And then from there, they're hashed onto the Bitcoin blockchain. So to do a 51% attack on Pirate Chain, you need 51% of the computing power of Pirate Chain, plus the 51% of the computing power of Komodo, plus 51% of the computing power of Bitcoin. Forget it. If you got 51% power of the Bitcoin blockchain, you should just deal with that. Don't go try and getting more for Komodo and Pirate Chain. So it's not vulnerable to double spend attacks. And Pirate Chain aficionados say that Pirate Chain really is what Satoshi Nakamoto intended for Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is not private. It's pseudonymous.
Yes.
You know, you can send me Bitcoin. You send me Bitcoin. I can look up your address and I can see what's in that wallet that you sent it from. I can see what wallets it's connected to, where you've had money come in, where you've had money go out. So it's not private that way.
Understood. So I had a little bit of dealings with Komodo Chain a few years back, and just a quick look on the Pirate Chain website tells me that the coder known as JR777 is a significant contributor.
JL777, yeah.
Yes, he is a one of the, I think he was the lead dev on Komodo as well, and I recognize he is quite a talent back then when I was working with Komodo and checking it out. So it's interesting for me to have that little bit of knowledge and history about that character and his contribution to this, which is awesome. All kind of good. So I guess highlights here that I've taken away so far. The transactions are invisible, but also the balances are invisible. You cannot see transactions and you cannot see balances. It solved some of the problems of other coins with regards to the 51% attacks and other things. So at present, it looks like it is the most private combined with most secure blockchain out there for privacy. Okay, that is a pretty cool title to hold. I'm not an expert in this privacy chain world, so I will give that, as you've suggested that they are. I'll give that because I can't argue otherwise. So that is a really, really cool title to hold. And I just messed up my camera because I'm now fuzzy. I don't know what happened. There we go.
That's better. You became obscure.
There you go.
You're coated by ZK Snarks there, Max.
I did. I got pixelated. So, okay. Now, for you might not know this, Rich, but a thesis I have had for well over a year is that I feel like the world's assets is at the top of this big, large funnel. And it's real estate and it's stock market and it's everything. And in time, we're going to see those collapse and all the wealth flow into, and my original thesis was that it would first flow into gold and then flow into cryptocurrency. And we're just having all the world's assets, trillions and trillions of dollars, flowing down into this very small asset class, which was Bitcoin cryptocurrency. And then I've had that thesis for about 2 or 3 years. And then about a year ago, I added to that thesis and saying, you know what, about it, sometime after that, the cryptocurrency will flow down even further into privacy coins. Because for all the reasons that, okay, I don't want to spend too much time in this video on it because this channel is very, very knowledgeable about the issues at hand. And so they're going to already understand the value of that privacy. But so the privacy coins have always been very, very interesting to me. Because of that. Now, let me just a few comments around this for the viewers on privacy coins. Couple things to note. So a lot of the centralized exchanges out there, the Coinbases, the Krakens, all these things, they are trying to IPO and go on the stock market, and they're trying to be squeaky clean and be on the good side of regulators. And so it's entirely possible that the bigger exchanges are going to be very standoffish on this type of cryptocurrency. They're not going to be involved. So it's something to be mindful of. Having said that, something else very, very interesting happening in the space would be DeFi and and I think it's happening very, very quickly, like as in right now it's happening, is the beginning of native coin to native coin, meaning being able to go from Bitcoin to Pirate Chain in a completely decentralized manner with no other guards.
Max,
this is really, really special. This to me is completely game changing. This, for me, it's the most important thing that has happened in the cryptocurrency space since the invention of Bitcoin.
Yeah,
Rich.
Max, you have been watching my channel. I bet you've been subscribing and clicking the notification bell, right? So that is happening. Piratechain is a member of the BPSAA.vision, which is a group of 9 cryptocurrency projects that includes Komodo and several others that have DEXs. And they have, some of them use proxy tokens, to do swaps. Turtle Network has spawned Polarity Exchange, which has a DEX which uses USDT as the base pair. And that's a DEX, so people can go in there and convert their Bitcoin or their ETH to USDT and then into Piratechain. And that's a DEX, no KYC or anything like that. But also, it's great what you said about Komodo, because I think JL777 is a genius. There's Komodo's atomicdex.io. This is a working product right now. It's free, no KYC. It is a true atomic swap DEX that works on Android, iOS, and desktop. And by atomic swap, it's not, unlike Chain Jelly or Change Now, I send my coins or tokens to them, and in the back end, they send it to an exchange and they do the transfer, or it's an escrow service. That's not true atomic swap. It's not peer-to-peer. Atomicdex.io is true peer-to-peer atomic swap. So I send you Litecoin, you send me ETH or Bitcoin, and the transaction either goes through for both of us or it doesn't go through at all. Yep. And they can do, it's cross-chain, so it's Bitcoin protocol, UTXO coins to ERC20 tokens, plus they've just added the Binance Smart Chain or BEP coins and tokens. You can do atomic swaps there. They are working on adding Piratechain to the atomic DEX, which means people will be able to go from Bitcoin or Litecoin or ETH to Piratechain peer-to-peer, fully decentralized. And hopefully by the end of the summer, beginning of the autumn, that'll be ready.
Yeah. Now what this means, just for people at home, what this means is it's a stepping stone. You can bring anonymity back to the other networks like Bitcoin or whatever, because although like Bitcoin is, as you said, pseudo-anonymous, has its problems, what one can do is you can take your Bitcoin and switch it over to once with these atomic swaps. And just to be clear, atomic swap by definition, peer-to-peer cross-native chain exchange is what we're talking about. You can take your Bitcoin, trade it for, say, Pirate Coin, and that, there'll be elements of that which are public. But then once you're on the Pirate Chain, you can just send it to another wallet that you own, and then back into some other Bitcoin wallet that was never. See, you had to buy the Bitcoin. You probably bought it off an exchange, and it's probably known, and it's you can be spied upon, for lack of a better word. You can go over, if you transfer it to a different wallet in Bitcoin, it can all be tracked. There's no getting out. But once you go to a private chain like Pirate Coin, then you can transfer it just to another wallet which you control, and no one, that's untraceable. There's no tracking there. And then you can go from that back to another Bitcoin wallet that's not the wallet that you pulled it off the exchange. So you're back into a relatively anonymous Bitcoin. And so I have a bunch of people asking me this about, like, oh, how do I get clean Bitcoins or whatever, things like that. I was like, hey, just sit tight for 6-12 months. All this stuff is going to be taken care of. You're going to be able to do it very, very easily. And it's going to be using things like what we're talking about here right now with Crypto Rich. I do want to talk about another little thing. Let's talk about the ARRR as an investment, as a coin. Who's going to be using it first? And this is something that's very, very interesting. The first, and this was true of Bitcoin too, the people who are going to see the biggest value of it are criminals. That's just the way it is. And when Bitcoin first came out, there was plenty of people. You've obviously heard the stories about Silk Road, and that's how it began. It's like, well, these people they're spending hours and hours and hours a day looking for, how the hell do I hide my money that I sold guns or drugs or nuclear weapons or whatever the hell they're doing. All right. And they need it. And so they are going to be the first movers on this. I have absolutely no doubt. But then it's going to go through a life cycle, exactly the same as Bitcoin went through this life cycle. And although those people are willing to deal with all the headaches of a brand new chain with relatively immature infrastructure, eventually, once they have all those, they work through all those problems and they build cool apps and layer 2 solutions to sit on top of it. And the GUI becomes really easy. GUI, for those of you, graphical user interface, the user experience is really good. Now, all of a sudden, the people who are not criminals, who want to get on board, it's like, well, I just want to be private. It's relatively easy to do, and I just want my privacy. So yeah, I'm going to buy my coffee or do whatever in Pirate Chain. And so that, if it plays out, I think that's the life cycle of how it's going to be. But for us, potentially, as an investment, we may not have a need for, I mean, for those people who want their privacy, absolutely. But it's always about how many hurdles do I have to jump through to get that privacy. And I don't own any Pirate Chain as of yet, but I'm just going to guess, like everything, it's going to be a little bit more challenging, going through a few more steps than, say, buying Bitcoin through Coinbase or something. But understanding that as an investment, all of those hurdles is what makes it very, very sweet. Because once all the problems are solved, then there is this huge market of people. Well, I want privacy. I mean, how many people use Proton Mail or things like that to get a little bit of privacy in their email? And it's only getting bigger. But right now, the hurdles, and I haven't been through them. I don't know how high the hurdles are, but there are hurdles. It's not the easiest thing in the world. But once you get through all the hurdles, then you're sitting there on the other side waiting for all these things to get developed. And then once it's super easy, then Grandma can come in and get her privacy too. Meanwhile, potentially you, me, and others got in early when it was difficult. And then a lot of more people started using it. Rich, is that how you see it kind of going?
Yeah, I do. And just what you said about criminals is just great. And it isn't just criminals, it's also the sex industry and the criminals in the defense industry. They're the ones, right, who do all the innovation, and then it filters out into the rest of the society. Yeah. I think also for me, because politics is important to me, given the drive to authoritarianism and oppression in former Western democracies like Britain, like France, like Australia, like New Zealand, people are going to do what they want, what they need to do in order to preserve their freedom. So that is going to drive people towards cryptocurrencies, and in particular, privacy-focused cryptocurrencies. The hurdles for Pirate Chain aren't that difficult.
Yeah, please help us understand, because I'm curious for myself. So what are the hurdles? How do I get my? I've gotten past the barrier of getting Bitcoin. I've got Bitcoin sitting in my wallet. What's the easiest way for me to get Pirate Coin?
Okay, I think the easiest, the exchange with the most liquidity is TradeOgre, which is a email sign up, no KYC or anything. TradeOgre, and people can go to the website pirate.black, and it's got a list of the exchanges that it's available. It's on several different wallets. You can have a mobile wallet which works on Android. I don't think it works on iOS yet, but not for large amounts. There's a light wallet, there's a full node Qt wallet, there's the wallet of Veriscoin, other suppliers, manufacturers, other projects that have made wallets that integrate Pirate Chain.
Can I put it on my Trezor?
Not yet, no. There isn't a hardware wallet that can take Pirate Chain. You can have a paper wallet. You can have a Qt wallet, the treasure chest off the Pirate website, download it, install. You have to run the full node. Then you keep the public address, save your DAP file, save your private key. The wallet's offline. You can just keep sending it to that public address. But you go to the TradeOgre, which has the most liquidity, send your Bitcoin there, convert your Bitcoin to Pirate Chain like you would on any exchange, or you can do that on polarity.exchange or turtlenetwork.eu. And I think there you can use ETH and Bitcoin to purchase Pirate Chain. And also Burstcoin, you may have heard of Burstcoin. They launched in 2014. They have a BT DEX where you can also exchange Pirate Chain. There's not a lot of liquidity on the smaller dexes, but TradeOgre for sure. Not a problem. So it isn't that difficult.
Isn't that? Yes, but just sign up to TradeOgre, no AML, KYC. But then, you do get into the challenges of storing. So there's let me recap that. There's an online wallet, and then there's running a full node.
Sorry, there's a light wallet.
A light wallet?
For your desktop. There's a mobile wallet.
And sorry, the Light wallet, does that work for Mac and
Mac, Linux, and Windows.
Okay.
And then there's a mobile wallet for Android.
Yep.
And there's a full node desktop wallet, which is the treasure chest wallet, which is, if you've got a large amount, that's the most secure way
of
keeping it.
And then running the full, and then that's got the typical .dat files, .wallet files that, and you can put those on your USB and put them in your safe, keep them offline.
And you will need to download the Bootstrap blockchain on the Qt wallet. Otherwise it takes days to download all the transactions, which is also something else I want to say, Max, about Monero versus Piratechain. So I have both. Just like I have Bitcoin and I have Litecoin. I have Bitcoin Cash as well, right? I'm hedging my bets. They're all good. They all have advantages. Monero is a really, really great privacy coin, and it's very well established. It's got the network effect. However, it doesn't have the size of anonymity set that Piratechain has. Piratechain is way more anonymous than Monero. Monero uses ring signatures, which means that the transactions get split up and travels along different lines through different made up wallets to look like some went here and some went there, ghost wallets, before it reaches its final destination. It is possible, theoretically possible, to analyze those transactions. With Piratechain, there's nothing. You can't see anything to analyze. Plus, every time the Piratechain, there's more and more transactions, the anonymity set, i.e. the size of the haystack, gets larger. Monero has, I mean, somebody said to me it's 121 anonymity set. I've heard 7, I've heard 11, but it's pretty small. Piratechain is over 350,000 and growing with every transaction.
Understood.
So, yeah.
Cool. Okay.
So
any other final thoughts or questions for me regarding Piratechain?
No, unless you want to do some quick TA. You want to show us?
How about this? How about we do that on your channel? So guys, we're going to wind up this video. So do me a favor, let me know in the comments below, do you have Piratechain? Give me a thumbs up if you like this video, if you like this kind of content. Let me know. Do you think Piratechain is going up, going down? Is it exciting? Something you want to stay from? Let me know in the comments. And what we'll do now, I'll put a link in the description. We'll head over to Crypto Rich's channel and I'll do a little bit of TA here on ARRR. All right, let's do that and we'll see you over there in just a minute.